Good Lord.
A lot of people start drinking a lot before
That's true.
2 p.m. Actually, day drinking is my favorite drinking.
Well, not to brag, but next week, actually starting Friday, I'm going to be drinking all day.
Yeah, in Mexico.
I'm going to Mexico. Woo! Which is
Wow.
actually very exciting because we booked this trip like over a year and a half ago.
How do you and Anthony vacation? Like, do you guys... Okay, wait. Are you guys the type that at all inclusives you're like on the beach or by the pool and like you don't leave the resort? Or are you guys like doing stuff?
Okay, well, I'll be honest, I've never been to an all-inclusive.
What?
But I've been to like places where there's a pool.
You've never... Didn't you go to an all inclusive last year? With your family?
It was just like a Airbnb.
Oh.
But we're definitely not sit by the pool all day.
You guys are gonna get hammered. If this is your... I'm just saying.
It's not
this
an
is
all-inclusive.
It's not... I thought you said this is...
It's a resort, but I think you still have to
Oh.
pay for... Like, it's not like food and drinks are included.
Really?
But you can bill them right to the room. So it is a little bit dangerous.
Yeah. Well, a couple margaritas in and it's going to feel all inclusive.
Oh, baby. Well, I am excited because we're going with Anthony's sister and her boyfriend. And they have not been drinking for like months in like preparation for going to Mexico.
Wait, what?
Well, not really in preparation, but like
They're like, our liver
They're
needs a pre-detox.
yeah. And they're also
Really?
there already because they are going for a wedding. Anyways, they're just, I'm like, and they're so fun. And I'm a little bit nervous because I'm like, I don't think I'm as fun as, I think I want to be that fun, but then I try and then I'm like, oh my God, I'm so hungover because I really don't drink that much.
I think you're fun.
Wow.
I think you're fun when you're drinking.
I more just meant I don't know if I can keep up with them.
Oh, but I swear on vacation, hangovers are not this, they don't hit the same.
No, because you can sleep in.
Well, you
can
can sleep
just
in
lay
over-
outside.
Yeah, something in the air, something in the salt water, something.
Also, you're like, I feel like shit. I'm just going to drink more.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? You just
I'm
wake
not
up and
very good at
rally.
that.
Technically, your hangover doesn't hit till you land back in Canada.
Oh, God.
So,
But I'm
yeah.
so excited because it's like a pretty nice resort. We're only going because, yeah. Anyways, but hopefully it just looks so pretty. I'm ready to lay in the sun because I'm a little ghost right now.
It's going to be so nice.
And I love a margarita. Oh, a spicy marg with tahini
Ooh.
around the rim. I drink like 27 of those.
Stop. I do have tequila
Tacos.
next time.
Ceviche. Okay,
So
calm
good.
down.
Are you guys going to do any tours like catamaran?
I don't actually know. They actually have a pretty good plan of what we're doing. I don't think we're doing anything crazy, but I think we are doing like a hike one day and then something else. We're definitely not like sit by the pool for 7 days in a row, people. Like I can do that maybe one day and it's not even the full day. Like I don't get how people can do it.
The only time I've ever been able to do that is actually last winter when I was like, we're going through a stressful time with our previous thing. And I was like, I literally need to turn my brain off. I need to unplug. I need to not speak to a single soul at all. And that is the only time ever on vacation. And I was reading a really good book series, so I like couldn't put it down.
Yeah.
But that was the only time I've ever been able to sit by the beach. But otherwise, we're like,
Yeah.
we have to be doing things. Also, Josh is ginger. Like, you think we can sit on the beach? What do you say? Like, he's gonna come home with skin
Same.
cancer. We
Yeah.
can't just do that. We literally sat in the shade. Came back more pale.
I feel like well, first I can't just sit there. So yeah, if I have a good book or something to do, but like I can't just like sleep on the beach. So like a couple hours is good, but then it's fun to break it up. I love eating food, drinking, but then also doing activities so that like it's so fun to like do a hike or do a workout or something. And then you're like so hungry and you're like, oh my God, I get to go eat all this good food.
Go running on the beach.
No, probably not. But
Is Anthony's family the type that is like working out on vacation?
well, Anthony definitely is.
Yeah, I could see
But
that.
I'm like, he's like, he loves working out, but also he's like the type of person that like needs to work out. Like he'll
Go mentally ill.
go crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So his family's definitely very like, they'll be like, let's go for a hike. Like they don't want to sit around. They want to be doing things.
Mm-hmm.
And they also all get up really early, just naturally. So I told them that if we're doing something, someone has to tell me. I'm like, I'm down to get up early. I just can't get up early. Like my body naturally just doesn't do it. So like I either need to set an alarm or someone's got to wake me up,
What
which
time
is
do you think you're
so fine.
Yeah. What time do you naturally wake up at?
I think if I didn't have an alarm and I wasn't like panicked about waking up at a certain time, like 9.
Okay, well that's not that late.
No, but they're up at like 6.
Yeah. Like that.
And
You might miss the hike.
yeah, and I have been known to sleep into like 11, depending.
Yeah.
Also, if we're up late drinking, I could easily sleep till 11, for sure.
For some reason, when I'm drinking, I cannot sleep in.
Oh.
My body's like, you deserve hell, so you should wake up and
What have
feel
you
like
done
shit.
today? Get up. Yeah, so there are more.
Just set an alarm. Then you can go, and you don't
Yeah.
want to miss the. Oh no, it's not all inclusive. I was gonna say the breakfast buffet, but
Yeah.
so it's a resort, and you just pay for the food.
I don't know what it is.
You're truly along for the ride. Like
Yeah.
this is the most. This is, if you could be like, am I type A or type B? Actually, no, you're type A about a lot of things. This is a type B situation, though.
Yeah, it depends. Like I'm type A if there's enough anxiety around it, but like
Like
other than that, trips couldn't care less. Planning my wedding, didn't see my bridesmaids dresses till the day of my wedding.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know. Here's a color. Do something around that color. Personally, they all have better style than me. I'm like, I don't care. Also, just wear what you think. I think, to be honest, I think that actually gave them more anxiety than, because like it's easy when someone's like, here's the dress, buy it. But they'll look great.
Perfect.
So things like that, planning trips, I'm not a planner at all. I'm
Yeah.
like, we'll figure it out.
I feel like I feel like if I wouldn't, Josh and I would never get anywhere. You know?
Just be
We'd be
sitting
like,
at
let's
home.
go somewhere. And he'd be like, yeah. And then
Yeah.
we would just not.
That's, yeah, probably I'm more like that, more like Josh.
So Anthony will do the planning.
Well, like, yeah. Anthony will be like, we should, like, we'll talk about it. Like, we should do this. And he'll be like, I booked that. Or I did
Aw,
this.
that's so
Like, he just
nice.
does it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Josh, are you listening?
It is nice.
I'm going to send him this episode.
And then, but I think because he's like, well, we have to book it early. Like, he thinks like that. Whereas I'm like, well, worst case, if that place isn't available, there'll be another. Like, that's more, which has like also not worked out well in certain situations too.
Yeah, and I don't like overly planning because that's stressful, but I'll want to like book the flights and the
Yeah.
accommodations, and
Yeah.
then everything else I'll like do a little bit of research just to see like what our options are. And then like when Josh and I went to Bali, we like booked our flights and Airbnbs and that's it. And then like we kind of knew what was in the area, and then we just woke up and we're like, oh, let's do this today. And it was,
Yeah. That's
and
way
even
better.
like one of our Airbnbs canceled on us, I think the day before we were supposed to arrive, because we went to like a few different places, and like that didn't stress me out. But it's more, I think I'm more like, if I don't book it, it won't happen.
Yeah.
We'll just keep talking about it, and then I'll just die and never cross anything off my bucket list.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think I'd probably do the same, but like my threshold for when is an appropriate time in advance to book something versus his, like his is just way more.
Yeah.
You know? So it's like by the time I'm like, oh yeah, I should book that. Like he already did it a month ago.
He's like, it would have already been sold out.
Yeah. And maybe it would, maybe it wouldn't, but I'm just like, I don't think that far in advance
Yeah.
a lot of the time. But then again, if it was like sometimes for his birthday or something, I'll like plan a thing and like plan it out and book the stuff. So
That's nice.
it's more just like, because I know he won't do that because he doesn't know it's happening.
Because it's his birthday.
Yeah. I'm like, well, he's not going to do it
Yeah,
because he doesn't
duh.
know about it. So I guess I'll do it.
It's all about balance.
But I'm so fine to go on something with literally no knowledge of what we're doing.
Yeah, me
Like,
too.
I don't care. I'm just like, oh, we're going for dinner here. We're doing that. You plan this. Like, sweet. I hate being the planner. I hate choosing the place. Because it's like, I feel this weird pressure that if it's not good, it's my fault. Whereas other people like planning it. I don't know why.
I don't like I went on
hate
a girls trip to New York City. I think it was not last summer, the summer before, and they are total planners. Like, do you remember? I think
Yeah.
They had like an itinerary app,
Yeah.
and I mean, this was probably not that great, but I did not contribute at all to the like. I literally showed up,
Yeah.
and they were like, "This is what we're doing," and I was like, "Okay." Like, I did not care at all.
You need both.
But that's more like, well, if someone else is going to do it, then
Yeah.
like you do it. I'm the only reason why I'm doing it is because no one else is doing it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not because I want to.
And I'm down for an itinerary. I'm happy to follow an itinerary.
If you tell me where to go, I'll go.
I'm just not going to rate one. You crazy person.
Hell
I actually kind of
no.
like it. Then I know what time to set my fucking alarm in the morning. So I can get up.
So you don't have to feel guilty about sleeping in if you're actually allowed to sleep in that day.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But last time I was in Mexico, I slept so much. It's like,
You slept so much?
yeah.
Really?
Maybe not, but every day I would like take a nap and then I'd sleep in and then I would go by the pool and I was like, this is so nice.
Wow. That
I've
must
only
be what like retired people feel like all the time.
Yeah. But after a
Really
week, I was
rich
ready
people.
to leave. I was like, this is good. This was perfect. This is the perfect
Yeah.
amount of time.
You gotta be doing things.
Yeah. I'm so excited though. I don't know why. I think it's also just like cold here.
Yeah.
Like it's a Canadian winter, even though this winter wasn't that bad. But
Even though we're literally in like the nicest, I swear, out of all of the places in Canada, this area has the nicest year-round climate and the nicest winter.
well, I would know because I lived here forever. But
Yeah, you're just a little spoiled little brat. That's what you are.
I'm
You
like,
don't
"It
know hard
snowed
times.
this year. Ugh.
Yeah, it snowed like 1 inch over the course of 2 months. And everyone's like, it's so cold. And I'm like, you don't know what I've been through.
Oh no.
I remember
This
when
is-
Josh was back when we were living in Ontario, he worked shift work. And so sometimes we would get like multiple feet of snow in the night, but Josh would be working. So I wouldn't be able to leave for work in the morning because, or like I would have to shovel the driveway at like 6 a.m. And then I had to figure out how to work the snow blower. And I'm like, I'm literally just a girl and you want me to operate machinery at 7 a.m.? Like, this is not right.
That sounds bad.
This is so bad. One time I was trying to get the snowblower working and the neighbor actually came over and he's like, you need help?
You're like,
Yo.
yeah, if you could just do my driveway every day, that'd be good.
He actually did come over multiple times after that, which was
Aw,
so
that's
sweet.
really nice.
But
Oh my god, do you want to know what I did the other
Ontario
day?
winter's suck.
You know how we got like that random dump of snow for like literally half a day?
Yeah.
Like it snowed in the morning.
Yeah, like a ton of snow and then, well, okay, a ton for Kelowna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A ton of snow.
Are we allowed to say where we live? They'll know. I don't know why I always think people are going to hunt us down and kill us.
Okay. Too many crime podcasts.
I don't even
mean, you
listen to
can
those. I don't listen to those on purpose because I
think
know that I'm going to be terrified.
I think it does say our address on things somewhere.
Okay, anyways. I interrupted.
Oh, you know how we got that huge dump of snow?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then I was like, oh, I'm going to go wherever I'm going. And so I like cleared off all my windows and then I cleared like half of it off the top and it was like heavy because it was like half melted already, but it was like a lot. Anyway, so I'm driving around and then suddenly I stop at a stoplight and the whole top of my snow goes onto my windshield. But it's so heavy and so much that my wipers don't work. So I had to get out of my car. The light turned green. I had to get out of my car and literally just like go like this with my hand.
No, you're lying.
Like luckily I was stopped, but it's because I stopped and it was like,
Was
no.
someone behind you waiting?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Multiple cars. And I literally was like, ah! And then I like wiped it off and then I like looked at it. I'm like, sorry. And then I jumped in the car. I was like, oh my God, that's so embarrassing. Because you know, when I was wiping the snow off my car, I was like, should I get everything on the top? And I was like, nah. But also usually here because it doesn't snow that much.
It's not
Like-
usually that much. Or if it does go on the windshield, you can just
Yeah.
use your wipers.
Like I don't think that's never happened to me before. Oh my God, it was so embarrassing. I was like,
That's
okay.
so embarrassing. So
I had to get out.
It was-
I had to literally like put my car in park, get out, get.
was it like downtown Kelowna?
No, it was like closer to where I live, so it was less. There was like less people behind me, and no one like honked at me or anything. But I was just like, you could just tell the guy behind me was like, this girl.
Oh my God, she didn't wipe off
This
her
fucking
car.
girl.
She's so fucking dumb.
Yeah, like those
Girls.
videos where people wipe off your car for you or whatever. I'm like trying not to be that, but also, I don't know. I didn't really realize I did.
Also,
I did.
your
I'm
car
just
is white.
lazy,
Your car is white.
so I couldn't see
And
it.
so is mine. And sometimes you're like, is there a lot of snow up there? I don't know. I can't tell.
Yeah.
It's probably fine.
That was embarrassing.
Wow.
I just got back in my car. I was like, wow. Well,
One time I was driving in the winter. This was back in Ontario, so there was a lot of snow. But I was at a stoplight on like one of the main roads in my hometown. And it's like a 4-lane road. So like there's people. Like it's like a busier road. And the light went green and I was just like, I started to like spin. And there's like cars everywhere, and I could not get through the intersection. I kept spinning and fishtailing, and I had to like I was stopped in the middle of the intersection, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. And then eventually like it started working again, but I was like in the middle of the intersection for like a full light change, just like spinning out.
That's so scary.
Wow, winter driving really sucks.
That's really scary.
Thank God we have hardly any of it here.
We still do.
Yeah, actually the road, even when it snows just a little bit here, the roads are almost worse because it never snows, so there isn't like adequate road maintenance in place.
That actually probably makes sense. Or that does make sense.
They don't salt the roads here, and so when it gets icy,
they don't?
No.
Not at all?
They use, well, I read an article because the first winter here, I was like, this place is fucking horseshit. I'm just kidding. Anyways, I read an article saying BC doesn't want to use salt because of the animals or something. They don't want animals like coming onto the road to lick the salt and then getting hit. So instead they'll just have people fly off the highway because like we probably didn't need them anyways. Population control. I'm just kidding. No, actually
not salt the roads. That's crazy. I just assumed they did for some reason.
No, they put gravel down, which is why you get so many rock chips here in your windshield. Because I swear I've never had a rock chip before, and since moving here I have like 6 rock chips. So they'll put gravel down, and then they'll put, I think it was like beet
juice.
Yeah, beet juice.
I've heard of that. Weird.
Anyways, that was
make
really
sense though, because here too, like it never really rains. Like it rains, but like barely compared to places that rain.
Yeah.
And then where Anthony grew up, like close to Vancouver, it like rains so much. So sometimes when it's raining really hard, I'm like, oh, driving sucks, and he's like, oh, I don't care. But then the roads here actually suck when it rains because it like pools water.
There's
and
no
then
drainage, and then there's like puddles.
Or like the drainage cannot keep up. No. Like I've been going up the highway and the water is just like almost like a whole like a stream coming down the highway at you.
Oh my gosh! And hydroplaning on that highway is terrifying.
It's so scary.
I feel like you're gonna go off a cliff.
I know, because you are on a cliff.
I know.
At least some of the areas. Like there's a couple areas where I'm just like, if I just didn't pay attention for 1 second, I would be in the lake.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Off the cliff.
Yeah. I'm like
dead.
You have to actually pay attention driving. And it's not lit up at night. Like there's no lights.
There's no lights. There's no lines on the road. That one section, there's not a line.
Yeah.
So you're like, am I in my lane? I don't even know.
No one knows.
And then people are passing you. And I'm like,
no
well,
lights.
Hopefully there's space for you to pass me because I can't even tell if I'm in a lane.
And it's like twisty turny up a hill beside a cliff.
Whose fault is this?
Obviously the BC government.
Yeah. What is going
the paint on the road, I'm pretty sure, is because BC uses some like environmentally friendly paint because they whatever.
You're coming across like you hate the environment.
Hey, just for the record, I moved here because it is better than Ontario. So despite all of these things,
now you're coming across like you hate Ontario.
BC is also superior. Also, I love Ontario, especially the summer. Ontario summer is top tier. I can't lie. You know what? Every single place has pros and cons. Everybody relax. It's not that deep.
Yeah. That's nice that everything's natural, but then you're like, okay, well, someone's going to die.
Yeah, it's tough when like safety is the thing that's sacrificed for environmentally friendly stuff. Which there must be something that accomplishes both.
Okay, but also I feel like the road thing, like there are lines on other parts of the road. Like I feel like someone just needs to repaint it.
Yeah,
like,
well, I think it just wears off quicker, so you need to be repainting it constantly. And I also don't like, does it reflect at night even when it is on the road? Like hardly, like not really. Oh,
No, is that a thing?
Yeah, like in Ontario there's like reflective particles in the paint, so that at night, like you know how like when there's like a sign on the road and the sign reflects the lights at night, they put particles like that in the road paint.
That's a good idea. I've never seen that.
Yeah, it actually works here very well.
Why don't we do that?
Because it's not environmentally friendly.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, annoying.
Anyways, this is really first world problems.
Yeah, for sure. But still.
Still
annoying. Well, I'm escaping it all soon.
To Mexico.
On a flight, even though there's all these flights that have crashed, but I'm just ignoring them all.
What are you saying?
Haven't you seen all those? Or like almost crashed? Have they? Maybe not. Hopefully not. I'll be fine.
They never crash.
Not here.
They stay in the air.
Yeah.
I did see that one plane going upside down in Toronto Airport on landing, but everyone made it safe.
Okay. Well,
You'll
thankfully
be
I'm not going to
fine.
Toronto.
More people are killed in car crashes than plane crashes.
That's true.
So you'll be fine.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Statistically, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Statistically.
Yeah. So you're escaping the cold and I'm going to the cold.
You're going to somewhere colder?
Yeah. I'm going to Banff.
But Banff is so pretty.
Banff is really pretty.
Banff, Alberta?
Yes.
Okay. I knew that.
It's like just over the border, but
Yeah,
it's in Alberta.
I knew that.
We're going to stop at Lake Louise and go to Banff and do some hiking and do some
Are you
stuff.
bringing the dog?
No.
Mm.
Leaving him at home with his grandma. I can't say that word because then he freaks out. He gets so excited.
Oh, really?
He's like, yeah, grandma. Treats.
We're talking about him like he's a human being.
He knows some words, and if we say that word, he'll probably start freaking out. So she's coming to stay with him, and we're going to Banff.
Aw. Sweet. That'll be fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be fun. I feel like I've gotten so used to the mild climate here now. It's going to be so cold, but I think it'll be fun.
What's the weather there?
I think it's only like -5 or something degrees Celsius. But then once you are like hiking in the mountains and once you increase in elevation, it does get quite a bit colder.
Do you like snowshoeing?
Well, we have like ice cleats.
Oh.
I know, it's pretty snazzy. We're pretty outdoorsy. But there's these like ice hikes or like ice canyon, whatever.
Okay.
So they're just hikes, but it's all icy in the winter. So they recommend having cleats so that you can go to whatever.
Right.
So we're going to do some hiking. And then we're not there that long.
Yeah.
So I feel like we don't
good
need
food.
Yeah, we're not doing hiking and snowshoeing, but we're going to do some hiking. We're going to do some skating. Apparently there's an ice bar at Lake Louise, like right on the lake. So you can like skate and then you can skate up to this ice bar. But then my friend who she was driving through last weekend was like, yeah, the ice bar melted last weekend. So we're not going to get to the ice bar, but that's okay.
Shoot.
But like the Fairmont's there. I guess we could get some bougie drinks.
Sounds pretty good. You sound like alcoholics. No.
Okay.
Only on vacation.
Yeah, like we're vacationing. We're not drinking during the week.
That's so
I actually
true.
hardly drink on the weekends anymore. That sounded like I'm a recovering alcoholic. I mean, like compared to like your early 20s, like in school and carrying on.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, what else happened this week?
Well,
I mean, it's only.
what
are we doing?
I drove an hour for a meeting, and when I showed up, they were like, shoot, we meant to cancel. And I'm like, it's so cool. Why don't I just go back? Why don't I just go back home? That actually sounds really fun. So that was like a good.
It's wasted like 3 hours of a day.
Yeah, by the time, like a little over 2 hours. I was like, well, it was a sunny day, so that was a nice drive with my tunes.
So it wasn't like sketch?
No, but I was like, okay, that's so fine.
That's so funny.
But
you're like, no big deal.
What else happened this week? Working on a lot of things. Some updates.
Yeah, I guess we never did a little.
We never did an intro.
We missed the intro. Well, welcome to another episode of On Air, where we talk about the real life, day-to-day of entrepreneurship and being alive. Kind of?
Yeah. Well, our realities of being alive, I suppose.
That's kind of what we're talking about. We're basically just trying to document the journey of entrepreneurship so that if anyone else out there is doing something similar or not, maybe you don't feel so alone, because it can be very isolating sometimes, but also really fun. But also, the last couple podcasts we talked about like lessons we've learned in businessy things, and while that's great, like the first 20 podcasts you're just like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Do we even, like, you're just trying to like form sentences and not offend too many people. Truly. So I feel like we're trying to find like the line still between
like showing our personality and being regular personable humans and talking about
like
business
professionals.
stuff. Because if we make a podcast that we don't even want to
CPAs.
listen to because it's so boring, like what are we doing?
Yeah.
But
And
also we don't want to come across as too crazy.
yeah. Well, I think that's like, there definitely is a line, because there's, I don't know, a lot of the podcasts that I really love are like comedy podcasts. So they have like professional comedians on them. So they're obviously very entertaining. That's literally their job, is to be entertaining. And then there's other podcasts that I've tried to listen to, which are so educational. Like CPA Canada has a podcast. Like all these resources where you're like, wow, if I could just get through this, it probably has so much good information.
But it's so boring that you're never going to get through it.
Well, that's the problem. So I'm like, there has to be something in between where it's like people don't want to blow their brains out, but also unalive themselves. But also maybe there's some like good information. Obviously, there are people doing that already.
Yeah.
For sure. But like, that's the goal. But like, where's the line? And then also I listen to other podcasts that are so crazy and unhinged that I'm like, well, if I said even like 1/8 of that, I'd have to like go into hiding.
But that's like their brand is being unhinged.
Exactly.
Whereas
our brand is not unhinged.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Yeah. So just trying to find the line of just like having fun while still relaying at least something beneficial or valuable.
Or just like documenting our real life without turning potential clients away.
Yeah, because
Is that a thing?
basically what you're saying is the thoughts in our heads sometimes should not go into the public. Is that what you're saying?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But you also have to have an opinion on something, and you can't just care about what people think either.
No.
But then it's hard to be like, yeah, anyways, you get it. You get the picture.
I get the picture.
So we're just trying different things.
Yeah.
And I think just honesty is the best policy.
I agree.
So we're just going to be honest about what the fuck we're doing. And if it works, that's cool. And if it doesn't,
Then
it doesn't really matter, because we're also just like, I feel like this is almost just like a therapeutic way to like decompress from the week.
I also feel like this is just what we naturally do a lot of the times. Except there's no recording of it.
Just sitting down.
Well, no, like we do work, obviously. But a lot of the times we'll just like sit and like catch up or like talk about something together, like talk something through.
Yeah. Decompress. You need it. Otherwise it gets too
boring.
You need it a little bit. Your nails look good.
Oh my God. I
look
saw
like
you looking at my
absolute
hands. I'm like, was something
No, they
on my
look so
hands?
good.
Like what? I was
you
getting
did
a
that
little
yourself?
self-conscious for a second.
You did that yourself?
I did. You like them?
Yeah. I can't make mine look like that.
It took me a long time to figure it out. Through COVID, I learned how to do my own nails because you couldn't go get your nails done, and I was still having to go into the office, and it was just getting really gross having to like point at things at my computer and look like a disgusting
like,
little
ew.
rat. So
That's so funny.
I just got like a $30 light on Amazon,
I got that.
but it's taken me a lot of time to be able to.
I need different colors. Also, I think I'm using too much. I tried so hard last time not to, and it worked better, but I still haven't quite
Not
figured
too
it
much.
out.
And I've found that like you especially don't want to go heavy around the perimeter because that's how it
Yeah.
starts to lift.
I know. Yeah, that's what always messes mine up.
Yeah. Or like right
My-
at the cuticle.
Also,
You really
just
gotta
such small nails that I like. It's so hard.
Yeah, you're so tiny. You're so, oh my God. You're like
Just my nails.
so tiny and small and like just so petite.
Basically a little baby.
I can't even
bird.
see you sometimes because you're so small.
Yeah. So little and just tiny.
You're just a little dainty, demure little flower.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How'd you know? That's true. Just get them done, but okay, anyways.
Wow, we got distracted again.
So distracted. Oh, but this week we do have a question from someone.
We do.
So if you have any questions for us about business, finance, entrepreneurship, nails, life in general,
mental illnesses.
We haven't got too much into this yet,
Just
but
kidding.
mental illness,
That's a joke.
meditation, the universe, quantum leaping,
changing timelines, manifesting.
Yeah, so anything about any of those topics, feel free to send us an email with your question, comments, concerns, preferably just nice things, like no negative comments.
Yeah,
like we already know.
Our skin isn't that thick, just so you know.
Yeah, and we already know a lot of the bad stuff about ourselves, and like as much as you think it's easy to change, it's really not.
We're almost too self-aware that like we already know the bad things, so don't agree with us that you also agree that those are the bad things.
Keep those to yourself or send them, but I'll just delete it probably.
If you don't have anything nice to say, just shut the fuck up.
Compliments only. No, I'm just kidding. But if you do have any questions or things you want advice on, email us hello@ayrre.ca, and we would love
to give you mediocre advice about it. I'm just kidding. We would love to tell you what we think. We would love to give you our perspective.
Yeah, 100%. My lips are so chapped.
What was the question this week?
Oh, it's on my phone. Where is my phone?
Okay.
I brought it. I thought I brought it over here. Okay, pause. Entertain them for a moment.
Give me a song. But wait, what?
That's just a beat, actually. I thought you asked for.
I
thought you asked for a beat, but
I did ask for a song, so that's pretty close.
Most people ask for beats, not songs, don't they?
You wanted me to freestyle? You wanted me to freestyle? I was just hoping to like sing something.
You were gonna sing to entertain people?
Well, it wasn't gonna be good, but it may have.
Okay, well, sorry we missed that. Next time.
Luckily, yeah, you actually
right there.
You got lucky because I don't have a singing voice.
Could have been embarrassing. Okay.
Well, whatever.
So this came in to our email, and I don't think you've seen this yet, have you?
I don't know. Tell me.
So I'm gonna ask it to you, and you can answer.
Oh no.
Because I feel like you might relate to this. Not that
oh no.
I don't know.
Okay.
Did I pick it because of that? Maybe. I don't know. But
okay.
Okay, so the question is, I left traditional work to build my own business, but I still feel guilty for not following the rules I was taught, like dressing up for work, being at my desk at 8 a.m., or keeping a strict schedule. I know I have the freedom to run things my way, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm doing it wrong. How do I let go of this mindset?
This is so valid because I still struggle with this.
You relate to this question? Whoa.
Oh my God. Are you in my head? Get out.
But just when I read it, I was like, oh, that's a pretty good first question.
Yeah. I definitely relate to this. I feel like it's just so ingrained in you when you're in that corporate environment. Or I don't know if they're in a corporate environment, but that like typical job structure.
Yeah, they said traditional job, I think.
Yeah, where you need to be busy or appearing busy from your working hours. That now when it's almost like you still feel this need to be busy even though you don't have somebody who's making you be busy.
Yeah, like you don't have a boss.
Yeah, you don't have a boss. And I actually talked to my therapist about this.
Did you? Yeah. That's hilarious. I have too.
Yeah, because I was like, I just feel guilty sometimes that, like, say I'm working from home and I want to take the dog for a walk in the middle of the day. Sometimes I have this, like, weird guilt that I should be at my computer. And so my therapist gave me some really good advice, and I will pass it along. She said that when you're out doing whatever you're doing, maybe this isn't answering the question, but she said, when you're out doing whatever you're doing and you have that split second where you feel guilty, rephrase your inner monologue and say, I am so grateful that I have been able to build a life where I have this freedom.
Right.
Like, I'm so grateful to have this time that I can just walk the dog.
Yeah.
Like, how lucky am I to be able to be doing this?
Yeah.
Instead of being like, I should, like, most people don't get this opportunity, or like most people aren't able to do this. I shouldn't be doing this.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah. Or like I should be at my desk, or I'm wasting time, or
Yeah.
because really you're not. And it depends obviously on your type of work, but sometimes stepping away from it and then coming back, you're like, oh,
Yeah. Like,
that's the solution.
you don't need to be proving anything to anyone. Also, you don't need to be filling up your day with tasks just to stay busy. Like when you work for yourself, any hours that you are working should be like value added. Otherwise, what are you doing?
And like productive, efficient. Yeah.
Productive. Like, don't just make work for yourself for no reason just because you feel like you have to be like hustling or grinding.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're literally just running around in circles. I mean, there's no point.
Mm-hmm. And it's almost better sometimes to be like resting, or like maybe learning new things or researching if you like really can't focus on the actual task, or maybe the task isn't even the right thing.
Yeah. Or like, yeah, take a break, take a step back, and maybe you'll come back at it with a clearer head. And also working for yourself, I think we've talked about it before in a previous podcast, but it just allows you to have the flexibility to work on the things that you're in the mindset for at that moment. So like if you're feeling really creative, do creative work.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not feeling creative, like don't force it, because you're probably going to put out shit anyways. Like it's not going to be good.
You'll probably feel creative tomorrow.
Yeah. And like you will feel creative again. So I'm imagining you have a to-do list. Some stuff are things you want to do. Some stuff aren't. Some stuff are creative. Some stuff are maybe like analytical.
Mm-hmm.
And you can kind of just like pick and choose with what feels right, which sounds really stupid, just saying like, oh, whatever intuitively feels right, just do that. But it's kind of true.
Yeah. And it's not like you're saying like, oh, just don't work. And
No.
this person, it's also, I think part of it is like, I think I totally get this as well, because coming from that world, it's like there's just like things that make you appear good at your job, and one is being at your desk at 8 a.m. and one is dressing up properly or whatever. And so then I do find myself similar, where it's like when I'm not doing those certain things, mine aren't the exact same, but you're just like, did I even work today? Or like, did I do it right? And like, this person isn't saying like, oh, I don't want to work or I'm not going to work. It's just, I think that's the beauty of also just, I think a lot of industries are going this way, whether you work for yourself or not. It's like people have more people are working from home a bit. People are showing up in hoodies, or like, I don't know. It's like not the same expectation that it was, but it's still kind of,
yeah,
I don't know.
And I think even some places, maybe more in like big cities and stuff, are less like you need to be at the office between 9 and 5, and more like these are your deliverables for the week. Get them done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care when. I don't care if you're working in the night, in the morning. Like if you're taking half the day off, I don't care. As long as there's these deliverables and they're getting met and you're showing up to mandatory meetings. I mean, why does it matter?
Yeah. And you have people working like 3 jobs because they can do all the work.
Well, yeah. Actually, did you see? I think it was during COVID when there was all these remote jobs. People were making like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars because they were pretending to have all these jobs, and they were really doing like the bare minimum at all of them, but it was remote, so they didn't really care, and they basically just like milked it until they were found out and they were fired, and they found another one, so they were just like raking in so much money. I could not sleep at night if I did that.
I know. I was like, that's such a good idea, and then I'm like, I would lose my mind.
I would feel so guilty.
I know. I feel guilty at one job.
Yeah.
Being like, I'm not working enough.
Or with our own.
Yeah.
With our own business. I'm like, oh my God, am I doing enough?
Yeah. So true.
Yeah.
But sometimes I do like showing up. Not okay. Like, I feel like I have to even now justify it. Like, I was going to be like, not to a client meeting. But like, it is kind of nice to be able to like wear what you want.
Yeah. It doesn't change the effectiveness of your work.
Yeah. I mean, people do judge based on their initial.
Yeah. First impressions. Yeah, for us, I guess it doesn't really matter as much because most of the time we're not meeting with clients and stuff.
Yeah. Or like if we are, it's like, obviously. And then
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm going to.
Like, we're not dressing up. We're not probably wearing sweats.
No.
But
We're not
we're
wearing
not
sweats. But
wearing
I'm
a
also not wearing like a
blazer.
pantsuit
Ugh.
and heels every day.
It's so funny when you get one of those jobs and you're all excited to wear business clothes and you're like, oh my God, I'm wearing a pantsuit. Like,
Yeah. It is fun for a bit.
it's fun for a bit. And then after a while, you're like, if I have to wear another pantsuit, I will literally burn my whole closet.
It's fun until you have to like dress up in a pantsuit at like 6:30 in the fucking morning.
I know.
And it's
And then
winter
be like,
or something.
good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Oh my gosh, how's your weekend? Okay,
So my
that's
server
actually,
voice comes back.
yeah. The pantsuit.
It's not bad.
The good old pantsuit. Thank God I don't have to wear that anymore.
Pantsuit. Yeah.
I've seen some cute ones though. I won't lie.
They are so cute.
Yeah.
And when I see other people wearing them, I'm like, oh my God, you look so good.
Or some people wear them like in a night out, but they'll wear something like cuter underneath so it's not so businessy, and they'll kind of wear it like slouchy. I'm like, wow, you look so
Like,
cool.
Are you slouchy business right now?
Are you even slouchy business?
Slouchy business girl.
Yeah, but I think that's a very, very common thing when you're going from like one structured work to another, especially because like in school, it's so structured. You are there from 8 a.m. to whatever time, and then you maybe go to post-secondary, maybe don't, but then you have a job, and then it's almost like your entire life you've been conditioned to be that way. Like even I remember my first job, or one of my first jobs, was working at Tim Hortons. If you're Canadian, you know, just a coffee shop.
It's more a donut shop.
I guess.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's like a Canadian Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
Essentially, right?
Yeah.
Like basically, that'd probably be like an equivalent. Anyways, I remember when there weren't customers, you would have to pretend to be busy, otherwise you would get in trouble.
Right.
Like you would have to be doing something.
Yeah.
Because if you were just standing around talking, the owner would come out and verbally abuse you. I mean, it was actually not good, and he'd be like on the cameras and he would call the store and be like, get those people to work. It was
Really?
oh my God, the amount of people that left there bawling.
Really?
Because he was so mean.
Oh my God.
He was so mean. And the sad thing is, this is kind of going off on a tangent. The sad thing is
You loved it.
no,
I'm just kidding.
I hated it. Oh my God, when people are condescending, I'm like, I will literally ruin you.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is that he was super disrespectful to every single employee, and I think it's because he had this like arrogance about him that he thought he was better. It's like, oh, you're just a Tim Hortons employee, like you're a minimum wage whatever. And then I remember one time, I'm not even doing this anymore, but one time it got brought up in conversation that I was like going away to school for engineering, like going away to university for engineering. Dropped out anyway, so whatever. But it was like immediately a switch was flipped and he started respecting me. And it was like so obvious that it was really bad.
That's weird.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, so it was so clear that you think every single person is beneath you. And now that I've told you that I'm going to school for engineering, you suddenly think I have value? Like, fuck
like,
you.
You know, I don't have the pinky ring yet.
Yeah, you know I'm about to drop out. I'm just kidding. Also, this is total sidetrack, but that reminds me, I was watching a video on TikTok, as I do.
Le TikTok.
On Le TikTok. And it was this woman who she was a lawyer. This is kind of on the whole thing of like, oh, you say you're an engineer and now you have respect.
Yeah.
So she was a lawyer and then she quit law, and the dog is barking.
What's happening?
He is really vigilant.
He loves this story.
Security.
Oh, that's what it is.
So this woman, she was a lawyer. She quit law, and it was really hard for her to quit law because it's kind of the same thing when you have this like professional designation or this professional job. When you tell people, it's really sad, but they almost respect you more.
Yeah. It's like it's like part of your identity.
It's part of your identity.
And you get positive reinforcement from other people.
And it's almost like step up in your self-worth somehow,
Yeah.
or at least that's how it's perceived sometimes. And so she was kind of saying that she realized after all that time that she didn't actually like being a lawyer. She didn't actually like law. She just liked like the image of being a lawyer.
Yeah.
And more like she liked going into a room and meeting people, and when they asked what she did, she said, I'm a lawyer, and they suddenly like changed their tune and they showed her respect.
That is a thing.
Which
for
it
sure.
totally is a thing. And then she said she had this huge almost identity crisis when she quit law, because she quit law to do content creation.
Boo. Just kidding.
She quit law to do content creation, which, I mean, I think there's kind of, I don't think you're getting the same respect.
Probably not.
Let's just say that.
It's probably slightly different.
It's probably slightly different, especially when you're talking to other people who are in a professional world.
Yeah.
And then if you say you're doing content creation, I mean, I would imagine they don't really understand. But she said that was something she really, really had to work on, is being proud of the direction that she took, and just knowing that she still had self-worth even though she didn't have this big like name or degree or salary or whatever.
It's so interesting that we do that though, because like obviously we need lawyers, we need doctors, we need people in these professional roles, but like half these content creators are probably making way more money than a lawyer.
Way more money.
They like their life better probably. I mean,
probably
I don't
is
fucking
making,
know.
She probably is making more.
So it's like, what are we?
But it's
is it just like because you're not smart to do that job? Like that's the stigma?
Or like you didn't have to go to university and pass a bunch of tests?
But she did do it all.
But I mean for like content creation.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just, and then I was kind of reflecting on my own journey, and I don't think I ever liked being an accountant. The hell? Who does? Does anyone? Maybe, probably. I didn't like being a CPA or a controller or whatever.
Yeah.
I liked the idea of it. Like, not saying that it's probably the same image as being a lawyer. I don't know, but I'm like, wow, I feel like I never liked it either. Like, I don't think
any accounts watching would disagree.
They're like, we're just as good as lawyers. Actually, I've met some lawyers and they're not better. That's so bad. Wait, can I say that?
Yeah, but I think it just went against your whole point of judging people based on their profession.
Well, until you get to know them.
Anyway, yeah. I get what you're saying.
I'm just saying, I don't think because you're a lawyer, you're smarter than everyone.
No.
Even though maybe that's a perception.
I see what you're saying.
Sorry.
Yes.
Remember I said
I just got what you're saying.
the thoughts
I know what you're saying.
don't always come out clearly.
We've met some lawyers.
And just because you're a lawyer doesn't mean that you're the smartest person in the room.
Yeah, of course not.
You might be.
There's good lawyers. There's bad lawyers. There's good accountants. There's bad accountants.
But it is interesting, like, having this title and how people perceive you differently and how people treat you differently based off of the title.
Yeah.
Or like the job or profession or whatever. And then she was talking about, I just remember this piece of her video. She was talking about how it's really interesting how maybe it's more in North America. One of the very first questions you ask someone when you meet them is, what do you do?
I know. It's weird.
It's like, ew.
I know. And
Why
I always
do you
want
care?
I need a better answer for it. Because I want to not say my job. But then it's weird too.
Yeah, so it's normal to have your profession so wrapped up in like who you are, if that's your leading statement. But then she said she was traveling, or I think she was traveling, and she met someone from, I don't know, I want to say Europe because this feels like a European thing to say. But she met them and she said, oh, what do you do? And they kind of looked at her and they were like, what do you mean? Like for fun or for like what?
Yeah. It wasn't
like
just like an obvious first question.
So strange to ask first meeting someone.
Yeah.
Which I found really interesting because
yeah.
in North America, I mean, we're in Canada, but it's the same in the States. I just feel like
It's like the go-to first question.
Yeah, what do you
Oh,
do?
hey, what's your name? What do you do?
Yeah.
I'm like,
And
nothing.
I mean, to an extent, I understand
Yeah.
because they're trying to
Get to know you.
They're trying to relate, trying to see if they have anything in common. But it is really interesting how it's just so wrapped up in your identity.
So you know what I had to stop doing?
What?
Okay, so there was a TikTok. Do you remember this? Maybe, I don't know. Or a video or a reel. I don't know where it was. Somewhere on social media. It went kind of viral where it was like this song and it was like, nobody asks you questions when you say you're an accountant. Did you ever see this?
Yeah, but that was about like
Exactly.
okay.
People who do like OnlyFans or like
Yeah.
other jobs like that.
Well, after that, I would tell people I'm an accountant, and they're like, "Okay, like
That's
what
what I'm
kind of
saying.
like a spicy
Okay.
accountant?"
So then they'd be like, and then the song's like, what do you do? I'm an accountant. Where do you work? At a place where accountants work. Do you like your job? Yeah, I like my job, and my job is an accountant. Like just so vague or whatever.
Yeah.
So then I started, like, I don't know how long that was in the internet ethos for, but for like a year after that, people would be like, oh, what do you do? And I'd be like, oh, I'm an accountant. And then they would be like, oh, cool. And I'm like, and I actually am an accountant. Like, I'm not like a fake accountant, like who's just an OnlyFans. And then people like had never seen it. Or they had no idea what I was talking about.
So like you to make a joke that no one understood.
And I'm like, no, like, and then I'd have to like,
coffee shop.
so then I'd have to explain it. Oh God. Oh my God. I'd have to explain it. I'd have to over explain it. And so I was like, no, like, you know, the video where they're like, what do you do? I'm an accountant. It's like a joke. Like if you don't want people to know what your job is, like you say you're an accountant because no one wants to ask questions because it's such a boring job. And they're like,
like, well, now it's really not funny.
they're like, not real. Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
So I had to stop doing that. I have to just say like, I'm an accountant.
Yeah. You don't have to say
Or
like,
something else, but don't, I don't need to do the whole backstory.
don't be like, I'm an accountant. I don't show my boobs on the internet.
Yeah. Because they're like, what the?
Because they're like, I never thought that
That's
you
so
did.
random. Yeah. Anyway, so I stopped doing that.
That is
Yeah, the girl at the coffee shop. That was the most awkward.
That was so funny. I was actually like tears were coming down my face because it was so funny. Maybe it's because it was at the end of the day that I was a little bit overtired. I had the zoomies, maybe, I don't know. But
I forgot about that.
oh my gosh, that was so.
Now I'm thinking about it again.
So we were at this coffee shop. Maybe I won't say the whole. Is it rude? No, it's not rude.
No, it just makes me look like a freaking idiot. But that's what the whole podcast is for. That's the point of it.
Well, there's lots of things that'll make me sound like an idiot, and I already have. So we're at this coffee shop, and I'm editing, I think, either our course or our first ads or I don't know, something.
Yeah.
And there's this girl.
Jack of all trades.
I don't know. But there's this girl who's at the table beside us, and I guess she was also editing. And so she looked over and she's like, oh my God, editing twins, like, hey. And then we just kind of got talking, like what we were editing, what she was editing. And she's like, oh my God, that's so cool. We're like, oh, we've putting out this course, whatever. And then we were like, what are you editing? She's like, oh, I'm editing a sermon.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't really come from a religious background. So I was like, who? And she's like, yeah, no, her dad's the pastor or something. And so she was editing his sermons to put on YouTube, which is great.
Yeah.
And then, anyways, later on, this old man came up to the girl.
Yeah.
And was like, what do you do with your hair? And she was like, haha. I guess she must have dyed it or something. He's like, oh, I don't know. It came off super weird and creepy. And then he just kind of walked away and she was just feeling really uncomfortable, which rightfully so. It was super random and like,
yeah, it was like really obvious that it was really weird.
Yeah. And then she kind of looked over and she was like,
well, we were like,
you good?
Cute. Or like, I kind of was like,
you were like,
wow, what a cute old man. Like very sarcastically.
Yeah, you said it sarcastically, but I don't know if she understood sarcasm. So, well, first she looked over and she was like, that man came up to me last week and said something super inappropriate. And now I've dyed my hair and now he's like come up and said something super weird again. So I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
And Sarah was like, aw, what a cute old man. And like said it sarcastically. And she's like, oh my God, no, you're right. Like, I'm so mean. Oh my God. Like oh my God, that was so mean of me. I can't believe I said that. Like, this is so not like me. Like, I shouldn't have said that. Like, please forget that I said any, like, she was feeling so guilty for calling out this man's inappropriate behavior.
Which Yeah.
Which to me, I was
Anyways.
like, what do you mean? Like, there was not a question. Like, the man was weird. Like,
Yeah,
what
yeah,
are we
yeah.
even, like, we're not even debating.
Yeah.
Like, you're not even saying anything mean. You're just recounting events. So I don't even, whatever. And then she would go to editing, and then the guilt was just eating her alive. So then she'd come back and she'd be like, I'm so sorry how mean that was. Like, that was so mean. Like, blah, 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 whatever. And Sarah tried to make a joke, like, sarcastic joke. And first of all, you mumbled it so no one heard. All they heard is the word Christian, and then it was so awkward.
Okay, so she was sitting there for like 20 minutes, clearly just mulling over her being rude to this man.
Yeah.
Her not being kind.
Yes.
Which I don't think she should have been. I think I would have been more rude. I would have been like, don't fucking talk to me again.
I think she was kind. She just wasn't like,
yeah.
I don't think she was rude, and I think she was just
rude
neutral. Like, she was just like sitting there.
But then
like,
you could just see that as she's editing the sermon, and it's probably about forgiveness or kindness or some shit like that. Like, I don't know what it was about, but I can just picture it. And then she's just sitting there like, wow, I am doing the opposite of
she
this.
was spinning.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm going to hell.
And then she had, like, came back over to us, and like, she was very close to us, but she was like, I just need to tell you that, like, I'm usually not like whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just said, like, oh yeah, we've been sitting here for 20 minutes being like, this girl says she's a Christian. No way. She's just mean to old people all the time. Like, something
No, you said something. You did not explain it that well. You said, well, that's what I meant. That's what you meant. That is what you meant. But what you said, which we didn't find out until later because we couldn't even hear you. All we heard was Christian. And then you're like, no, I'm just kidding. So she like mumbled something, Christian. And then she started laughing and no one heard. And then the girl was like, what did you say? And Sarah was like, I'm just kidding. Which made it seem so much worse because it made it seem like it was so bad you couldn't repeat. Anyways, turns out you said like, no, you could never be rude. You're Christian. Or like something like that.
I was trying to call out what I thought she was thinking. Like, she's thinking, oh, I told these girls I'm a Christian and I'm editing sermons. Then they see me be rude to another one of God's tribe or whatever I don't know. And now they're seeing me and they're probably like, you know what? Like, that's what I figured she was thinking.
And you were probably right. And I think your joke was right. But I think the execution was so... Well, it was a miss that it just got super awkward.
They can't all work.
And then she couldn't hear... Like, she did not hear what you said. So then she kept being like, no, what did you say? And then you were like, no. And then finally you were like, I just said that there's no way you could be rude because you're a Christian. And she was like...
No, I didn't say that.
You didn't?
Well, I might have, but I hope I didn't.
Maybe it's different
really weird to say.
It was something along the lines of like you repeated it, but then it wasn't funny anymore because it'd been so long. And then
I had to say it 7 times.
And then she was like, oh, no, you're right. Well, I'm just going to go over here then.
Yeah, she literally just slid back over to where she was sitting. In a way that was so...
She just slid over and she's like, oh, like it really, like the joke went so far over her head that she just...
But also, why did I say that? That was stupid.
Well, I think you had good intent. I think what you were trying to do is you were trying to like ease her conscience by making a joke and making light of it and being like, it doesn't have to be this serious. Like, you're okay. Everything's fine.
And also she wasn't rude at all, which seemed really obvious too.
Yeah.
Anyways.
But I don't think she understood humor. So it just made it really awkward. Oh my gosh, it was so funny. I was crying afterwards because it was just like the most awkward encounter I've ever had.
That's the most awkward encounter.
No, it is. It is. And I've had a lot of awkward encounters, but
that's so funny.
That was definitely up there. And then I kept having to be like, you're okay. Like, you don't have to overthink it. Like, it's fine.
Ariana's like, you weren't rude at all. We were not thinking that at all. And like, the more we said it, I think the more she was like, oh my God, these people hate me. And then we were trying to be like, no, we don't. Like,
we're trying to be like, everything is fine. And she was like, yeah, she was spinning. She was really getting stressed out. She was
bad, but I didn't know how to make it better because everything I said was making it worse.
I don't think we could have made it better. I think
like, just let old men be rude to you. What is wrong with you?
And we're like, he literally came over and said something weird and creepy. I mean, she wasn't. I honestly don't think she was rude in the slightest. I'm pretty sure she said thank you. She just wasn't like, oh my God. Anyways,
so another example of me trying to make a joke and didn't work out at all.
Happens to the best of us.
Got any more?
It truly does.
No, it does. Yeah.
I'm sure there's some... Well, I know there's some things that I've said that did not work out well. Or you're trying to think of some right now? I can see it in your face.
No, I was just thinking of the time that I had you on speakerphone and everyone could hear everything you were saying to me while I was sitting in a parking lot with a bunch of people who I had asked you a question. Anyways.
So Sarah basically
This could be
completely sewered me. Well, we don't have to get into the whole thing.
Okay, don't get into the whole thing. But just to say,
Cole's
did you
notes.
know people can hear your car speakerphone?
Yeah, because
Be aware.
Sarah asked me a question that she knew the answer to, and she knew it was probably going to be...
Well, it's not like I was trying to set you up. Like,
No.
I didn't know people could hear you.
No, you were not.
I was just like, great, I'm here now. So now I have to say this. And like, what should I say about that? And what do you think about this? And then you were telling me your answer. And
Basically, we were bitching about a scenario, and
I didn't realize they could hear everything.
because
like,
Sarah
trying to-
had me hooked up to her car speakerphone on full volume, and they were sitting outside the car. And I was like...
Now that you're saying it like that, I'm like, what a stupid thing to
And
say.
I was like, fuck that. Fuck this. No,
We're not doing
fucking
that.
way. There's no fucking way we're doing this. And then all of a sudden, Sarah just hangs up on me as I'm like mid-sentence. And I'm like, oh, that's so weird. So I call her back and I'm like, hey, like you hung up. And you're like, yeah, somebody just came to the window and knocked and so that they could hear it.
At least you don't have to be me. I had to just sit there while someone was like, hi, we can hear everything you're saying. I was like, okay. Just hung up the phone, shut my door, close it. I debated just like putting my car in reverse and like running away.
You called me back and you're like, should I just drive away? And I was like, I think that will make it worse.
Yeah.
Just pretend everything is fine. But then
No, this is what I did. I went, Ariana is wild. I was like, Ariana, no, calm down, relax. Don't be so cruel.
Don't be so cruel.
Because they couldn't hear me. They could only hear you.
So like this guy knocks on her window and then she calls me back and she's like, yeah, so and so just knocked on the window. I was like, oh my gosh, we are in so much trouble. Like, oh, we're in so much trouble. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
And then like 2 hours later, essentially she was like, so super funny, but turns out they could only hear your voice, so only you're in trouble. They couldn't actually hear all the things that I was saying.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Thank
oh,
goodness.
you know what? But it's okay.
Say la vie. What can you do? Live and learn. Now I turn my car down when I'm on the phone.
Yeah.
Even though I don't really, that's not like a common practice for me. I think it was just like one day we will have the space and time and legal resources to get into it. But today is not that day. But if you knew the whole backstory, you wouldn't, it's not like I was just bitching about random people.
No, like we were in a precarious situation.
Yes, precarious. That's a good way to describe it.
Precarious situation indeed.
Anyways, but I did feel bad. But it was also kind of funny. It was funny in hindsight. In the moment, not as fun.
In the moment it was kind of funny. Well, I think we just got to the point where we were like, well, nothing matters anymore. So it was funny.
Yeah, nothing matters.
Right.
Hello?
Okay.
Dog disruption.
Well, I think 2 out of 4 podcasts now the dog has disrupted. So maybe he should not be in the filming studio.
Yeah, we could lock him out. I mean, that's not hard.
It's not
But
hard.
we're trying to get 1% better every podcast. And so if we keep a little bit of the not good, like, there's room for growth. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want to get perfect right away.
Yeah, because then we have to do better than perfect.
And there's so much pressure to be perfect.
now he's good.
Yeah, this is cute. This is great.
Oh, I feel like we're just a little family at like a fireplace right now. Does you feel like this is a little family portrait? For those of you listening.
Yes.
The dog is just peacefully laying in between us.
Yes.
Looking at the camera, facing the camera. So
if you want to see the cute dog, head on over to YouTube. Full video available on YouTube. Like, subscribe for the algorithm. I feel like how long have we been talking?
I have no idea because I can't actually see from here.
You know, time flies when you're not talking about bookkeeping.
I know. Well,
Just
that's
kidding,
kind of
just
the other
kidding.
reason we were like, okay, so we can't just strictly talk about bookkeeping because no one's going to listen. I wouldn't even listen. So
I can't even get through talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Not that bookkeeping's bad. It's obviously awesome. We love it, but it's not like super like edge of your seat content.
yeah, it's not something you're just going to like listen to for pleasure. That sounded. Anyways.
What kind of an accountant are you?
Spicy accountant.
Spicy accountant.
Spicy accountant. No.
Oh man. Okay, let me look.
Okay. I feel like
106.
Okay.
Holy.
I think it's been enough time.
Well, thank you for joining us for another week of On Air, where we document our lives, our trials, our tribulations, our stupid jokes we tried to make that no one understood. Anthony always jokes, like fully joking. He's like, oh my God. You know what? I feel like you should have been a comedian.
Yeah.
But fully joking, because I just...
But you believe him, though.
Like, I believe I should have been a comedian. I think super, super, super deep down. Like, obviously, I'm not in the right city for it. And, like, I'd have to move. And, like, it's a whole thing. I would have had to start a lot earlier. But, like, I think I probably could have done it.
I think you were destined for the stage.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
I do have a vision of myself on stage just speaking to thousands of people.
Yeah.
What am I saying? Not sure. But
who knows? But
There's
you'll
still
be
time for
saying
that.
something,
I'll
and
be
it
saying
will
something.
be entertaining. Maybe you'll do a little singing intermission or something.
Can you imagine? I'll be up there telling them all about everything. Weirdly, that image in my head does help with like a shitty day or something. I'm just like, well, this is going to be super beneficial to talk about all the things I overcame when I'm doing my talk to thousands of people.
Well, we really should actually start. I guess this is
Slightly
kind of like a
delusional.
video audio journal of our everything, but
Yeah.
it is good to keep track of these things because, like, who knows?
I have a terrible memory too.
I have a horrible memory.
Yeah.
I'm already forgetting things from some of our trials and tribulations.
I know. We need to write it down, I think.
Yeah.
Or the other thing we could do is we could fully just talk about it, document it, and not put it out and just save it.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like this is live.
Yeah, or maybe like once we are super rich, then we'll put it out. Exposed. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, well, for legal reasons, I feel like we probably can't talk about a lot of the things. But I guess we could just talk about it, record it.
Yeah.
And
Even if it never goes anywhere, just to remember.
and then you know what we should do?
What?
In like even a year. Wouldn't it be so fun to just get, now that we're bringing alcohol back into this, so this is really annoying, but just get a bottle of wine and then have like a movie night of
Just us watching it?
no, yeah,
Wait,
reliving all of our traumas.
that doesn't sound that fun, but maybe in a year.
More
it will
from
be.
more from like the past, not like this, like our.
Yeah. Okay.
It would be so funny.
It'd be kind of fun. At the very least, then you have
Or we would
documents of
cry.
it so that in like 25 years, when you want to like do like a documentary about your life, like you remember what happened.
Is that something you want to do?
I don't think so, but I'd love to have the option.
Yeah. You never know.
Never know. But also my memory is shit. Like, it's so bad.
Yeah. So
Like,
it's mine.
Yeah. One of my friends will be like, do you remember when we did this? And I'm like, now that you've said it, I like have this vague memory. And she has like remembers details.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't remember it. Even sometimes people were like, remember this? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Still no. Wonder what makes you have a good memory or a bad memory. My dad claims, which I mean, I think he just says this because he has a bad memory, but he claims that people who are really smart have bad memories because they haven't had to like memorize things. Like when they're taught things, they just understand the concepts. They don't have to like, whereas people who maybe aren't as smart, instead of actually learning and understanding the concepts, they'll have to like memorize things in order to get by.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't think that it's probably not true, but that's what he like says all
That's
the time.
what he claims.
I'm like, so what you're claiming is
Because
you have bad memory, but it's because you're a genius.
yeah, that does make sense. No,
I don't think so.
like I'm just so smart, I can't remember things.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just too amazing.
I'm
That's why I
too
can't
smart to remember.
You have a good memory. It's because you're dumb. Just kidding. It's okay.
Maybe it's true. You could look it up.
Yeah, if
I'm
you
yelling
know
into the mic.
what distinguishes someone having a bad memory or a good memory, I do get scared that I'm gonna get like Alzheimer's or something.
Can't speak it into existence.
Yeah, you're right. I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Also,
because
if
it won't
you get it,
happen.
you won't even know. Well, you will for a
That's
bit.
True.
You
That's
will for,
probably
like,
a good one.
I think it actually isn't very fun at the start because you like know you should remember. Yeah,
and then they
it's scary.
sometimes get like angry, or they'll like
it'd be really scary.
kind of come to in a place that's not their home, which is scary.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be really scary.
Yeah, my grandma was like calling the cops on her husband
Yeah.
because he was like her
Who'd
second
escape.
husband and she didn't remember him.
Oh,
Well, I don't know if it's because she was her second, but like
that's
it's
like the
Notebook.
Notebook.
I know. Literally, she was like calling the police, being like, "There's a strange man who broke into my home. You have to come. I'm so scared." Like, imagine how scary that'd be, waking up next to a strange man.
I'm gonna cry. This is
Okay,
the
sorry.
wrong week of the month to tell me this story.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay, it's fine.
But then they both lived happily ever after.
You just made that up to make me feel better.
Well, they're probably happy.
Oh my God, the Notebook.
That is a good movie.
It's so hard getting old.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, took a turn. See you next week.
See you next week.